I will briefly introduce Mr. Kamran Saeed, the presenter for today. Kamran Saeed has been practicing sales since 1991. He has mostly been involved in business to business and technical sales locally and internationally. Early in his career, he was engaged in customer service and sales of telecommunication, power, and software solutions to businesses. Later, he was associated with the largest corporate event management company of Pakistan, where he marketed and managed exhibitions and conferences in diversified fields such as defense, IT, agriculture, food, and engineering. Kamran Saeed also experienced short stints of sales in a quarterly publication and frozen food company. Additionally, Saeed is well versed in marketing, customer services, and management. Practicing sales, Kamran Saeed has been keen in sharing his learnings and has provided training to thousands of sales professionals. He has imparted sales related education in prestigious institutes such as IBA. He is also President Solutions Inc., an event management company. Kamran Saeed is a Master of Business Administration from IBA, Karachi, and a Bachelor's in Engineering Electrical from Aniri University. He has practical trainings in the UK, including Train the Trainer and Essential Selling Skills. Now over to you, Sir Kamran.
Thank you so much, Roj, for the introduction. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so already Roj has given a small introduction about me, and we would like to directly go into the training on prospecting to CxOs. About prospecting, first of all, let's understand that this is a part of every salesman's job. Every salesperson at any level do prospecting as a part of his job. It never happens that if you become senior, you do not need to prospect at all, but the kind of prospecting becomes different. Prospecting is supposed to be the blood life of lifeline of a salesperson's job. It is often said that if you prospect well, 50% of your job is done. It is such an important part of everybody's job. When it comes to targeting CEOs or CxOs, it's a different ball game altogether. Many salespeople become very nervous when they are talking to the CxOs, especially the CEO of any large organization. Why? Because your opportunity is very limited. You have get a rare chance to see the CEO, and then you have to make the impression and make sure that whatever you want to achieve, you do achieve in that meeting. For that, there are particular rules to follow, and in this webinar, I would like to talk about a few of them, that how you can make sure what things to look at while you are prospecting and talking to CxOs. Right? I just opened my presentation now. Let me share my screen. Can you all see the presentation now?
Yes.
That's great. So it is about prospecting to CxOs. Let's go through what topics we are going to discuss in that. So we will understand the CxOs, what is their mindset, and what is the criteria when actually you should look for prospecting to CxOs. You have to understand that you don't have to talk to CxOs for all kinds of products. There are certain kind of products in which the CxO will be interested. And if your product serves that purpose, if your product targets that particular area, then only you need to prospect to CxOs. Otherwise, you might not even need to talk to CxOs. On to your expectation, we are going to talk about the expectation of the time when you get a result from prospecting to CxOs, their rule book, how they act, what are the rules they follow in order to see a particular salesperson, what things you should be careful at when you are emailing the CxOs or when you're talking to him on the phone. What are the magic minutes when you get a chance for CxOs to pick up your call? How to use networking and referrals, and using the 10% rule. So this is what the presentation flow is going to be like. Since our time is limited, I generally ask questions for understanding after each and every topic that I have covered. But if you want to ask questions, you can ask questions at any time. So our first topic, understanding what CxOs are like, how their mind work. This you will have to understand that first of all, okay, let's define what CxOs are in our for the purpose of our discussion. CxOs or CEOs or directors are not any people that you see. Here, for the purpose of our discussion, we are talking about only the CEOs and CxOs of large organizations. There are many small organizations as well, where anybody can get a title of a CEO because he owns the organization. But it's a different ballgame altogether when you have climbed the ladder through an enterprise or in an industry, and eventually you get to a CxO's position after, let's say an experience of around 20, 25, 30 years. Then you have many different kind of experiences, and you have been used to of a different kind of operating in a different mindset altogether. So when we are talking about CxO, we are talking about those kind of people, those CxOs who have actually climbed the corporate ladder and have worked in organization and made their way in the past 20, 25, 30 years. So what happens? What their mindsets are like? First of all, CxOs think in a longer time frame. They would not think to buy a product that is good only for short term. When they are thinking about at least 3 to 5 years. For a single year, generally speaking, the things have already been planned and they have been handed over to the people working beneath them. But whenever they take a decision or something that they consider there should be that requires their decision, they are thinking in a long-term framework, like at least 3 to 5 years. They're less price-oriented. You should not discuss price with the CxO. They're not interested in that. They might ask you what the price is because they're curious and they want to know if you're being realistic. But it's not that they're going to be petty about price. There might be some organizational orientation, how they like to have their products or the quality level that they want in their organizations. But generally speaking, it's not about the price. It's about the need that you fulfill and how that need actually works in the long term for those CxOs in their organization. How that product really fits into the needs of of their organization. So you will find them less price oriented. The people below them will be more price oriented. Understand that. So you don't try to convince them on the basis of price, but always remember you have to be realistic, and you cannot quote something totally out of the industry unless until you have a reason for that and you can prove it. They think strategically. They don't think tactically. Their job is not to think about everyday operations. Their job is to think about strategies. Strategies means competing with their competitors, how they can make their organizations better in the industry, how their organization can succeed comparatively better in their industries, in their chosen niche. This is how they think. So you have to understand that this is the pattern of the thinking of the CxOs. They are confident and focused. They're very confident on what they want to achieve. They have built that confidence through years of experience in the corporate, and they're very focused on their agenda. They know exactly what they want, and they want to derive the same conclusion or results from your product and with meeting on meeting with you. They will be very cautious with their comments. They won't just give flying comments here and there. They know it, that whatever they say is going to be referred again and again. And also they don't want to make a comment where they will feel embarrassed afterwards that why did they make that comment. So that's why you will see that usually the CxOs are very conscious with their comments. They think big. They don't think at a narrow space. They want to think big and how to make things big. They like those who think out of the box and provide solutions which can help them achieve their goals. They protect and value their time. Very, very important. All of their days are planned with important meetings, which they think is very important for the running of the organization. So I'll also let you know some of the strategies, how to get the time from them, what a strategy to use to get time from their busy schedule, and actually how to make the best use of it. They have high regard for integrity. You can never play a loose ball with them. You have to be sure whatever you are saying, you have the backing and support to prove it. And they highly regard if you have got integrity. They would not trust you. They would not even think about doing business with you if you have integrity issues. They want to make sure that whoever they choose to work with or meet with and buy products from has high level of integrity. They have a desire to learn. When they see a salesperson, actually they have a desire to learn because they believe you're an expert in your field. They are coming from a different perspective altogether, and they expect that you are going to provide them with a solution which is going to help them in their job. So they have a desire to learn more, how to make their work more efficient. And that's why they will be interested to meet you. And that's what they're going to discuss with you. And you will find that they have a true desire to learn that helps them to grow their organization and make them better. They will be curious. They would like to learn more about what you have to say. They would like to know about things which they don't know. And perhaps they're just going to share it. If they don't know something, they would just say it. Can you explain me more? And they feel satisfied after all their questions are answered. And you have to be very careful as salesperson that you don't drag him into unnecessary details. You just answer with him exactly what is required. They don't want to be embarrassed. Yes, we have discussed earlier. They don't want to make a comment in which they will be embarrassed. They don't want to say anything. They want to act anything in which they will be embarrassed. and they also have very high respect for the people they meet. They would treat you, normally speaking, with high respect. And this is a normal characteristic or normal behavior of a salesperson, of a CxO. They protect their images, not only their own images, but they also protect the images of their team members and the images of their organizations. They want to make sure they always appear good to whoever they meet. We talked about this. They will be very respectful to others. Place high value in people they trust. This is very important. You have to understand that CxOs don't work alone. They always have a number of people working in their organization whom they really trust. The judgment of those people whom they really trust, be it their vice presidents or be it their personal assistant. But they understand and they respect them, and they put high value in them. And you have to make sure that whenever you talk to the CxOs, you don't say anything that goes against their understanding of the people they trust. And also, not only that, but you don't say anything, and that you have given the kind of respect that is required by the people around him. I hope this first part is very clear. Can you let me know if you understand now, okay, that what kind of a mindset does a CxO have? Do we agree with that?
Yep.
Okay, so let me see how many participants we have. Okay, so let's continue. Mindset and criteria for prospecting to CxOs. What should be your mindset before you prospect to CxOs? You have to make sure that the product that you sell has the following qualities. If they don't, you will perhaps not get a chance to talk to the CxOs, or even if you talk to the CxOs, you will be wasting their time. First of all, does the product that you sell require a special budget consideration? If your product is high value and this is important for them, and this is not normally into their budget, budgets are not carved in stone. CxOs can always request if there is some consideration required in the budget. So they have the power, they have the authority. If your project or proposal needs a special budget consideration, you should go to CxO. Have strategic value to the customer. As we said earlier, something that you sell on an operation basis or that is consumable. For example, for the sale of toilet rolls, you do not need to meet the CxO or the CEO of a company. But for all those products that have a strategic value to the customer, you need to talk to the CxO. So make sure that your product brings in strategic value. And when I say strategic value, I normally talk about 3 different objectives. First of all, if it is enhancing their sales or image. Number 2, if it is reducing their cost. And number 3, if it is increasing the quality of their product. This is where the strategic value lies with the customer. Allow the CxO to achieve an annual objective that is currently at risk. For example, if the annual sales are not happening, the CxOs are generally responsible to answer to the board of governors. The board of governors ask them various questions about um, if whatever targets that they set on an annual basis, are they being achieved or not. Let's say something is not happening. For example, they're not making enough profit at the end of the year, and they can see early on that we are not going to end up with that kind of profit that we have promised to our members, our investors, or maybe a particular sales target is not being achieved. Then definitely that's a worry to the CxOs. So if your product can help them achieve their annual objective, then perhaps you have got a good chance that your product will be considered and you will get a chance to see the CxO to offer a solution to that. Have significant implications on the long-term goals and objectives that CxO has set. If not the annual objectives, then if your product has significant implication on the long-term goals and objectives that the CxO has set for the organization. Here I have also written one comment, helping and not selling. Please understand and make it a point, you don't sell to the CxO. Yeah. Selling is not for CxO, just like you will sell anybody beneath the CxO level. The mindset is that you are going there to help him. Throughout your discussion with the CxO, you have to understand that you are there to help him, and any conversation you make should not sound like as if you are selling to him, but actually you are helping him with all these goals in the organization. Are we clear? Are we clear? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we are clear. Thank you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yes. That means
Yes,
that
yes, yes.
that's great.
I
That's
just
great.
missed, can I ask a question? I just missed the first question when you were talking about that budget required, especially and after you mentioned 3 points. Number 1 was missing, number 2 was cost, and number 3 was quality of the product.
Yes.
Now what was the first one?
The first one was if it can increase the revenue.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, fine. Alter expectations. That's very important. When you are targeting to meet the CxO and make a sale in the organization, you should not usually expect to meet the CxO within a few weeks when you contact their organization. You should talk about at least consider months or quarters when you are able to actually meet the CxO. Because and also understand that you should not directly meet the CxO. You have to work your way from bottom to up. You have to make champions or coaches within the organization that will help you throughout the process and will put a good word about you to the CxO and will help you in meeting the CxO. So when I say about alter your expectations, I mean that your expectations should be around a month to 3 months time when you will be able to, if your strategy is successful, then you are able to meet the CxO. So when you are prospecting, don't think that you will get a chance to meet the CxO very soon. I hope I'm clear about that point.
Yes.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, their rule book. What are their rules that they follow? They only meet people in whom they have confidence. They only meet people whom they can trust. And they only meet people who are forwarded to them by some referral, who have either they themselves have met you at a road show or at a trade show or networking event, or your name has been forwarded to them by someone they trust, or they personally have confidence in you or your organization. This is the rule book to see the people whom they want to see. So you have to make sure that you have been referred by the right people, you have worked your way bottom up so that you have got champions and coaches within the organization, and that you can give some kind of confidence, you and your organization and your product, that you can help them. This is how they think. This is their rule book in order to meet somebody. Okay, now we talk about what rules to follow in order to email the CxO. Try to understand. Most of the CxOs don't see their emails themselves. So most of the chances are that they are not going to see every mail you send. Whom is it seen by? Mostly their assistants, who have the job to actually make sure that whoever the CxO meets or whatever email he sees has a value to him. Okay, so first of all, you should understand that he's not going to see it directly. Most of the chances are. So then you write accordingly. But whatever you write, let's say it is easier these days when you're prospecting to get the email address of the assistant. Normally, when you call an organization on their landline numbers and you say, if you are calling directly the CxO and not working your way bottom up. When you're working bottom up, that's more easier because you talk to some people down, you actually develop a trust in them, and then they refer you or they give you the email address or the phone numbers of the CxOs. It's different then. But even if we are calling themselves calling the CxO directly for a meeting, then most of the chances are that your call will be forwarded to the assistant of the CxO, not the CxO directly. And the first question she asks is, what is the purpose of your call? So the right way to get through this obstacle is that you give her briefly why you want, give her a brief information, briefly introduce yourself and your organization. Then you briefly on phone tell her exactly what you want to achieve, what are the objectives of your meeting. And for that, I expect that it should not be something as simple that she can answer herself, even though she might not understand what you are saying. But it's more important that you do have something where she makes sure that she does not know the answer and she will have to refer to the CxO to get the answer. And thirdly, the first objective of the call is to get the email address of the CxO. Perhaps she's going to give the email address of the CxO, or maybe she's going to say, you can email me. But even if you're emailing her and you are referring to the CxO, even that's okay. You can write the name of the president of Habib Metropolitan Bank, Mr. Mohsin Athani, address his, if you don't even know his email address, and address him and forward the email to the assistant. I'll let you know exactly what to write in the email. But this is how at least she's going to make sure that she will get a chance to discuss the email with the CxO if you want to see this person or not. But again, as I said, your better chances are if you work your way from bottom up. The content and format, it is different. Best strategy is a 3-point explainer. How does that work? Hi, I am this, calling from this organization. One sentence, one opening sentence, maybe we provide you with the core banking application. We provide you the core banking application running in 17 banks in Pakistan. Here's what I want to talk to you about. You write not more than 3 points. 5 points is too much. 1 point is too less. Not more than 3 points. This is it, this is it, this is it. This is what I want to talk about in very short, brief points. And then below those brief points, you write one paragraph explaining what those points means. In this format, what will happen is if they quickly browse your email, then they will read the first a couple of sentences. And if there are pointers, they're going to read the pointers. And if they find it interesting, then only they're going to go into the paragraphs that you are explaining in detail. So within a few seconds, they can grasp what you're talking about. So this is the best strategy to write an email. Am I making myself clear?
Thank you.
Yes. So in 3 points would be first could be your introduction, and second and third.
No. Introduction is in the first paragraph, very briefly. My name is this, I am calling from this company, and we do this.
Okay.
This is one. And then what you want to meet him for, that's the 3 points.
Okay, reason to meet.
Reasons to meet.
Okay.
I want to meet you because this.
That could be, okay. 1 to maybe 2 to 3 points maximum you can say.
2 to 3 points. And that is addressed to help him, not to sell him. We are the best company in the world and we make the best product in the world and we want to sell this. No, you don't write this. Are we clear?
Yeah.
Frequency, once a month. You cannot flood the CxO with your emails. Maximum
Yes,
one in a month, or maybe one in a month, one email and then one reminder maximum. Not more than that. If you're not getting an answer, it means you have lost your chance. He's not going to answer, or he's not going to meet you. Sending emails again and again would just irritate him, but not give you an appointment. Calling the CxO. Helping, not selling. We have discussed this.
Yes.
Omar, you have raised your hand.
Yes, I've just joined the conference. I want to know what is a CxO?
Achha, we defined in the beginning, CxO is, for the purpose of our definition, is anybody who is the CEO or in the C-level, CFO or CMO of any large organization, which is a corporate, for example, a bank, for example, a telco. Okay, and the people who are at the top management of those companies, of large organizations, are the CxOs. And we also discussed that because they have gone through a different path in their careers altogether, working hard 20, 25, 30 years to reach that position. So they have different kind of mindset and different kind of expectations as compared to the CEO of a small real estate company. So you don't treat them equally. Talking, getting an appointment, and actually making a sale to CxOs in large organizations that work in a corporate way is very different as compared to meeting a local company. Okay, are we clear?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, So as we said earlier, you are helping them and not selling them. When you're talking to calling the CxO, you want to make sure that your tone is such, your voice is such that you are able to tell him that, look, if you're going to meet me, it's going to help you. Of course, it is understood that for everything they purchase, there has to be money for it. Nobody is working for prayers only. But you're and you are keen as a salesperson. You are keen to sell, but you have to sound as if you're there to help them, helping them invest strategically to achieve an outcome. How you're going to help them? Invest strategically through your product to achieve some kind of output that they want, that is in their mind, that is in their goals and objectives for the current year or next 3 years or next 5 years. Whenever you call the CxO or you get a chance to talk to them, your voice, your tone, and the words must have confidence. You should sound confident. Your tone should be confident. Your words should be very, very well calculated and uttered in the right way. They don't want to talk to a person who is himself not confident enough. Okay? Or who does not resonate through the words he speaks, that he knows what he is talking about. About handling the assistant, we already talked about it, how to handle the assistant. Ask for a time to meet the CxO. The ideal time to meet the CxO is 20 minutes. Time cut, you have to definitely ask about the time that I want to meet the CxO. Whether you when you say it on the phone or when you write it on the email. And the good time to ask for is 20 minutes. Why 20 minutes? Number one reason, because most of the time slots for the CxO are divided by the assistant in slots of half an hour, 15 minutes or 1 hour, right? There's no point of asking for 2 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, because it means that you don't have really anything to talk to him, which cannot be held by somebody in the lower category. But you have, if you say for 20 minutes, then you automatically get a 30-minute slot. But it does not mean that you consume all the 30 minutes. It just depends upon how the discussion is going. And then according to the discussion, you see if more time is required. And if your discussion is important to the CxO and it is interesting, he may take 1 hour or more with you in order to discuss with you the solution you are handling. It just depends upon what kind of interest you generate in the first 5 to 10 minutes. I hope my point is clear. Ask for a time to meet the CxO. Definitely you ask for the time, and the ideal time is 20 minutes. Okay, are we clear about this?
Yes.
Any questions up till now? Anybody?
No, not right now.
Shall I go ahead?
Yes, please.
The magic minutes. Okay, what's the best time to call to the CxO? The best time to call to the CxO is, generally speaking, 3 to 4 minutes before the end of the hour. For example, maybe if 5 minutes before 10 o'clock, or 5 minutes after 10 o'clock, 3 minutes after 10 o'clock, or 5 minutes before 11, or 3 minutes before 11, after 11. So every hour, just 3 minutes before 11, before the hour, or 5 minutes before the hour, or 3 minutes after the hour is generally the best. Why? Because they're switching in between the meetings at that time, or they're waiting for another telecall. You usually get the telephone number of the CxOs assistant. You don't usually get the mobile numbers, but let's say if your networking is such that you get his mobile number as well. You have to be very careful when to use the mobile. It might happen that he met you at a trade conference and he gave you his card, or maybe he gave you his personal email, mobile address, mobile number. So what's a good time to call to him on a mobile or on a direct line? This is the magic minutes where you get a most chance. And what will happen if he is going to pick up the call? Your first question should be, I'm this, calling from this organization. Do you have 2 minutes? I want to discuss about this. Do you have 2 minutes? What is the most of the chances? Most of the chances are he's saying, no, I don't have 2 minutes right now. Your next step should be, okay, what's the best time to talk to you? Since they are generally the CxOs are people of integrity, they usually will give you a time. Please call me at 4:15 in the afternoon, where they are generally available. Not like the people below them who might give you a time and they might not respect their own time. But generally speaking, if a CxO says, okay, call me at this time, most of the chances are he will be available at that time. So when you get that time, then you talk to him about, you call him at that time and you talk to him about what you want to talk about. So this is the concept of the magic minutes. Are we clear about this?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, we clear, but just one question, like
Sure,
this is the time that most
sure.
use WhatsApp or messages. So is it a best idea that he asks, okay, just call me at 4? So should we send him a message at 3:55 that should I call you at 4 again?
No. If he has already
Okay,
asked you to call at 4, then you call him
just
at 4.
directly call. Okay,
Yes.
great.
About the messages and voice note, my understanding is if some CxO gives you his mobile number, or you get his mobile number from somebody else, the best thing to do is, instead of calling him at any time where he's in a meeting, or he might just pick up the call and say, I'm sorry, I'm busy. You just send him a voice note first. A small voice note which is not more than 20 to 30 seconds. Or a small message on WhatsApp, which is not more than a few lines. This is me from this organization. This is what I want to talk about. When is a good time to talk to you? Are we clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Networks and referrals. Let me. Networks and referrals. As I said earlier, they like to use networks and referrals. So you have to make best use of how to use networks and referrals for your work. So you have to attend social events, media events, exhibitions, conferences, trade shows. You might get a chance to meet any CxO at any time at these meetings, or maybe he's presenting in some conference. That's a good way to meet him. For example, I went to a conference where I wanted to meet the president of HBL. I hardly took 1 minute while he was walking down the presentation dais to his seat, or perhaps outside the conference hall after his presentation. I talked to him. This is what I want to talk to you about. Is there anybody else in your organization whom I should meet? He had his CM, Chief Commercial Officer, standing with him. He said, you can contact him. Chief Commercial Officer gave me his number. Now I have been referred by the CxO to, first of all, connect in this regard with that person. So I'm going to first contact that person. And also, if he gave me his own card, then I am going to be looping him in the email, and then build a network of confidence with the people around him. Social media and events are very, very important. Secondly, it might happen that when you are in a trade show or an exhibition or conference, you might see the top CxO of a company walking down the corridor, just crossing you. Or maybe in a short visit to the bathroom while you are washing your hands. Even at that time, it has worked for me that things happen for you if you have a few studies. First of all, always tap for their news stories about themselves, about their organizations, and about what's going on, because you didn't just meet him accidentally, but you are looking forward to meet him. So you have been tapping on their news stories. So the best way, while you are walking down the corridor and you meet him, just compliment for some accomplishment that he has just achieved, or new product that he has just launched, and wish him best of luck. Most of the chances are he will say thank you, and that's all. But in the same conference, if you meet him again anywhere else in the room, in the conference room, then he knows you. You can just go to him and talk to 2-3 minutes. Now there is a warmth that has developed between you and him, because you have referred to something that he personally cherish, personally that he has done. So there is a warmth in your relationship already, though you were just walking down the corridor. So when you go to him introduced, my name is this and we do this, he might give you his card and say, okay, and you might ask him for an appointment. He might say, okay, you can talk to my secretary, I will tell her, and you may meet me at any of these days. This is how it helps, right? Meeting, networking to build trust and confidence, using social media or events to warm your relationship, and tapping on their news stories. Referrals from anybody whom they personally know and trust helps you, whether within their organization or outside. We already discussed that. You may use your own CEOs in your organization to help open doors for CxOs. Generally speaking, I don't know how much it helps or not, but if you've got a large organization, if you're working for, let's say, GBM or IBM, and if you want to meet the CxO of another organization, you might use your own CxO to call that person who is with the same rank. It just has a warm feeling because they're in the same club of being a CxO of a large organization. So it might already put a warmth into the meeting, and your CxO might say that my person is going to come and meet you, or I'm going to come and meet you with my person. So that might help. So this is how networking and referrals help in you to meet the CxO, in prospecting for the CxO. Are you clear?
Yes, sir.
My last slide for today, the 10% rule. Don't invest all your time into prospecting for CxOs alone. Use 10% of your time to prospect for CxOs. The remaining 90% should be used to do prospecting with others in the CxOs. CxO is a long shot. It will take time to warm up that kind of lead, but your job is to meet your sales targets every month. So 90% of your time should be spent on prospects in the near future, and you should keep on working for 10% of your time with the CxOs whom you want to meet, and you might get some good sales in the future. This finishes up with my presentation. Sales Institute of Pakistan, a few words about Sales Institute of Pakistan. This is the only organization in the Pakistan that only focuses on sales, trainings, consultancy, and conferences. And we do free webinars often, and also public trainings. We just did a public training on finance for sales leaders last week and this week, sorry. And our next training is prospecting in the digital age, all about prospecting, how you can sharpen your skills to prospect in the digital age. It's a paid event. It's a one-day training on February 15th, and it will be delivered online over Zoom. Please register yourselves, or any people you know who might be interested. We will sending you some intro about the training soon. So do that.
What about the charges?
Sorry?
Charges for this event, which is coming on 15th Feb.
Yes. It's
What are the
online
charges?
over. Charges will be something between 15 and 17,000 rupees.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, for a one-day training. We'll send you the details. This is all from my side. If there is any questions, I would love to have them. Please.
No, that was good. We will just request if you can send this presentation on our email addresses if it's possible for you.
I will post the video of this presentation on my website, Sales Institute of Pakistan. You can also find videos of my earlier webinars on a website. Right. Yeah, so you can always review that at any time of your convenience. The same presentation, 1 hour presentation, there will be in a video format. All right, fine.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Kamran. So it was first introduction. It was lovely listening to you. That's really a wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Point.
Thank you so much. Any questions, please?
No, it's all clear from my side.
Anybody else? Momina, Sadia, any questions?
No, so far, thank you so much. It was really a very informative session again, as what we have seen last week as well. So we're looking forward, inshallah ta'ala, to utilize all the information that you have shared with us today. Thank you so much.
I look forward to see you in the future in my free webinars and in my trainings, Sadia.
Inshallah, definitely.
Thank you, Kamran sir.
Thank you, Momina. No questions?
No, I think I'm good.
That's good. Now ask Uruj to send you the feedback forms, and I would request all of you to give me a feedback on this presentation. Uruj?
I'm sharing link of the feedback form in the chat box. Please spare a minute to fill it.
I would request all of you to please fill up the feedback form. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, Farooq.